Kara's here. Hi, Kara. Hello, everyone.
Hi guys.
Hello.
How's everybody?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Excellent. So, this episode knocked it out of the park, right? Like, I was ready, but I was not ready for what we got tonight. This was the premiere, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is complete insanity. And then the bombshell dropped at the end. I don't even know where to start. Like, honestly, this is just insane. Like, the producers are at home right now, super excited about the work that they have put in because this is crazy. I was not expecting this type of drama. And it even started off really real and like emotional, right? With Amanda and the story of her husband, and then how she was moving on, and the kids asking questions about, what was going on. It was really crazy. So where do you guys want to start? Because I got a million things to say about everything. So where do you guys want to start?
Best season premiere ever.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It ended,
Yes.
and I was like, wow,
I
this is
sat
crazy.
for the first time. I was actually sad it was over.
Me too.
Yeah.
I was open for a 3-hour premiere.
Yeah.
It was just so crazy. And I wanna jump in a little bit and talk about Amanda, right? She's from Louisiana, but she was visiting her sister from Marietta, Ohio.
Yeah.
And we heard her story of what happened with her husband and how kind of abrupt it kind of happened. It was very fast.
Yeah.
And we feel for her because her kids and her, they're going through a lot. And her sister kind of was voicing how she thinks this is just crazy and it's too fast how she's moving on. And again, I want to like say grieving is different for everyone. And I do think that we grieve in our own ways. Like, I'm not a crier, but like I do grieve.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know that it looks different for everyone, but what is your opinion on her finding a new guy and then within 4 months she's saying I love you, and she's going to Romania to see Razvan, and then we're going to talk about his employment and stuff.
Yeah.
I just want to get your first impressions of like her doing this
Crazy.
and her idea of getting on a plane and leaving her kids for 3 weeks to go meet this guy. Like what do you think?
I think it's crazy. And how sad for the kids, in my opinion. Their dad left and didn't come back. So now mom's leaving. I'm sure they have some kind of deep-rooted fear. That's just sad.
And on top of that, I mean, all this is happening within a year. Like, she stated that they have been dating for 4 months. So she was looking within the first 6 months. I mean, who does that? That is disrespectful. I already don't like her.
Yeah.
That's disrespectful. And then she's already up and leaving her children.
Yeah.
Who does that? I mean, like you said, everybody grieves in their own way, but that's disrespectful. Hands down, that's disrespectful.
I like.
So it doesn't help that her late husband said that he wanted her to find love after he passed away. That doesn't help. You still think it's just too fast?
If I was going on live TV, of course, that's something I would say. I would be like, yeah, my husband wanted me to move on so I don't look like he wanted me to move on. He told me that's what he wants me to do. So I immediately had him cremated and then got into a relationship, just like he requested. That's just what you say.
Yeah, so let's talk about Razvan. So what do we think of this 26-year-old TikToker who he's also an actor, but most of the acting that he did was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Risque, right? Like even his TikToks seem a little risque. So I was like, this guy is probably on OnlyFans. She didn't say that he was, but that was my first thought. I was like, so he's probably on OnlyFans. We've seen this type of risque content before. And I was just like, I don't think that he should be talking to the kids. I saw a lot of people on Twitter and they were like, he shouldn't be talking to the kids yet. This is way too early. You've never met him in person. Like you could go over there and things go south. And then that's another guy that the kids aren't going to see again. So I feel like there's nothing wrong with her looking for love and trying to see if this is the right person. But including the kids in it, I think it's really soon, right?
Way
Yeah, absolutely.
too soon.
Yeah, and I don't know, his TikToks and his profession, is, I don't know, his acting career. Is he really acting or is he making a video? Like, I feel like
Well,
he's
he said something about filming a music video and singing, but then he also said acting, and then he said TikTok. There's so many, I don't know where to go with
Mhm.
it. And I don't know if she's not over there to know, because, you know, there's people that do TikToks that have a lot of views and followers, but they're not really singers or actors. You know, they just do TikToks. They're not really doing much other than that. So I don't know. And I feel like he's very immature,
Yeah.
right? Because when she was talking to him about the kids and being a father to the kids, he was like, well, I'll play with the kids.
Yeah.
And I was like, the kids, you're 26, sir. Like, the kids don't need a friend that's 26. The kids would need a stepdad,
Yeah.
right? Like, they don't need a friend.
Anybody can play with kids.
Right.
I mean,
But
I was like, they can find someone to play with them in the park, by their house, at school, on the playground. They're going to need a stepdad from you. And it's like, if you're not ready to do that, please leave Amanda alone, right? Like, let her move on and find a guy that's in that state, that's ready to be that person for her kids. Because I'm super nervous for them, because the kids are so vulnerable right now, and they really are looking for that love and acceptance. And I just want it to be pure and honest. And it's like, is he cheating on her? Like, what's going on? Because all of these videos, and she's not happy about the trailers, and she's not happy about all the stuff that he sees. It's like female actors that he's always filming content with. And it's like, you can film content with anybody. It doesn't always have to be females. You don't always have to be laying on top of them, right? Like, there's just a lot of questions here. And I can't wait for her to land in Romania so we can kind of get a little more background on what's really going on, because I really hope that things work out for her. I know that they won't. I don't know, but I know that they won't. But her story really touched. It was a lot for me. I was like, right at the beginning of the show, it was like a lot, because, you know, we sit down, we have our drinks, we have our snacks. We're not ready for anything that real. And I feel like we got hit with some real stuff. Like, that story that she told us was very heartbreaking. So I'm hoping for the best for her, because she's been through a lot.
Well, she was actually couldn't hardly speak through the entire thing because she was crying. So she's clearly not ready to move on. She said, "Are you ready to be a stepfather?" And he's like, "Well, I can't replace their dad. I'll be their friend." Well, that's not how that works. That's not how any of this works.
None of it at all.
exactly. If you can't even say a sentence without crying, you're not healed.
Yep.
And how do you expect to be in another relationship when you're not even healed yourself?
Yep.
That's true. You're right. She couldn't get any of that story out without getting emotional. And it's true. Like, if you're mourning, telling the story back is going to be super difficult. And that was really hard for her. She literally had to stop the interview a couple times because it was just too raw and fresh for her to relive. So I do think that finding a guy this quickly and then going to see him this quickly, I know it might feel like, oh my gosh, I found somebody who's going to love me and I don't feel so sad anymore. But that feeling of sadness that you feel is always going to be there until you process it. And I think that her sister said it best. She's like, I think you're just trying to move fast and not mourn and pretend like this horrible thing didn't happen to you and your family and you're going to move on and find happiness. That's not, if that was possible, trust me, we would all do it.
Yeah.
Whenever something horrible happened in our lives, we would all do that. We pretend like it didn't happen and chase after the next thing that's going to make us happy, but it doesn't work that way.
Yep.
She's trying to fill in a void.
Yep.
So what do you think about Riley? So we talked about Riley and Violet, and Riley is the jazz enthusiast from Pennsylvania, and he's a veteran. And he told us about the last couple relationships that he had. And one of them, he said that the woman had a guy that he introduced her to in her house. She wouldn't open the door. He's hiding in the closet. Then the next relationship, she said she was going to go to Philadelphia to pick up some things. And he had like looked at engagement rings and she never came back.
Yeah.
So he's had like a pretty rough situation with exes. And we met Violet, who was very beautiful. For 43, she looked really young, right? I felt like she looked super young. But like, she wasn't super honest with him, because when they met for like 4 months, she was still legally married. And then when he asked her about it, she wasn't like super honest about it. Because she probably looked at it like, well, I'm getting divorced. The process is in in motion, I don't have to tell you like the whole story, but you kind of do.
Yeah.
Like if you're engaged or married, I think that's something you disclose to someone. Or even if it just ended, they want to know, you know, because if you're like still legally married, some people are against that. They're like, if you're still married, even on paper, I don't want to start a relationship with you because you have to finish that chapter before you can open a new chapter. So I feel like her not being honest that early in the relationship is like a huge red flag for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, totally. Totally.
I have some serious trust issues. I mean, he already has trust issues. He said it himself. And then now you're starting the relationship on a lie. It's not going to go good.
It's
And he's
not.
too scared to say that he loves anybody because he said that every time he says it, they leave him.
But
Yeah.
dating someone that it's opposite day every day.
Yeah. I liked his friend's
Literally.
his friend's wife Tiffany. She was like the female version of me because she's like, you're really going there, you're really doing this. Like she was the skeptic, and I was like, we all need that one friend who's gonna call us out and be like, look, everybody else is being supportive, but I'm gonna be real with you real quick. This is crazy and I don't agree with it, and I think it's gonna go horribly. I love that friend who just tells me how it is, because all your friends are like, oh, you should chase your dreams, you should do it, you'll do great, and then they get you up in front of people and you make a fool of yourself. You need that one friend like Tiffany who's like, look, this is stupid and you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be getting on anybody's airplane and going to any Vietnam or wherever. Like, this is ridiculous. And she's just being real. And I think sometimes you need to be grounded like that and be told, you know, look, think about what you're doing. Like, in your mind, you're seeing love and you're seeing happiness. I'm seeing real logical situations. And I think that's a good thing. But I feel like he's still going to chase his dream. And I don't know how I feel about him. I feel like I didn't get enough information about Violet tonight to really know what was going on, so I have to keep watching, but I have a feeling that things aren't what they seem.
Red flag.
He seems like, honestly, he just seems like the nicest guy. He seems like he's got some serious trust issues. He needs somebody here that he can talk to face, that it's an hour or two flight. Done. I don't like it, I'll rent a car and drive home. Can't do that if you go to Vietnam.
Yeah, it's a lot. So are we excited that Gino and Jasmine are back? I was excited. Were you guys excited? Where do you stand with Gino and Jasmine? Are you fans of Gino and Jasmine? Are you not fans?
I love Jasmine.
I love her. Okay, good. So we're on the same page. DeeDee, where do you stand? Are you a Jasmine fan, Gino fan, both? Neither?
Like I tweeted, make it stop.
So, okay, so perfect.
Oh my gosh, did you see my tweet? His laugh, I have always said this, his laugh sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard. I was like, oh my gosh, please make it stop.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
He's gonna mind this season though, with her being, well, even contact with an ex, let alone being his neighbor. Now you go back to when they were first on, she flipped out over everything. If he even breathed in the direction of another woman, she had a meltdown. Yes. How is he going to react when he finds out that this ex Dane is a thing, and he's next door?
Does he even know that is her ex?
Yeah, he doesn't.
I don't even think they know. I mean, I don't even think he knows. I mean, I like Jasmine. You know, I did in the beginning, but now this season, I'm like, she's so two-faced, and she's two-faced, and she is, what's the word I'm looking for? She's fake. She is fake, because how can you be okay? She's another Danielle to me. Yeah. How can you live in the same building, go to lunch, and have a friendship with your ex? But last season, when Gino told her that he was in a friendship with his ex, she flipped the switch. Yep. It was not okay.
But so did send nude photos of her to his ex.
Yeah,
so,
he did.
But what I remember about her flipping out was she wanted to redecorate his apartment when she gets to America. And he said, whatever, we don't have to rush on that. And she said, well, who decorated it? And he said his ex-wife.
Yeah.
And she lost her mind. And he wasn't even talking to her. So I think that, I mean, they're having issues in the bedroom now. Wait until you find out that your issues in the bedroom are going to be your ex-boyfriend.
Well, do y'all remember?
Why is she okay telling her ex that? Like, and then all the stuff she was telling the doctor. Why would you tell your doctor that? I mean,
It reminded me of Angela. Do you remember when Angela would tell everybody?
Oh my gosh, I can forget
yes,
Angela.
I remember. She would even tell her lawyer.
Yes.
Of stuff, but she would just be like, "Oh, her and Michael about their sex life." And I was like, "This reminds me of Angela like a lot," because she was just telling the doctor, and the doctor was like, "I don't need to know anything non-medical about you and your fiance, like non-medically, like about you specifically. I don't need to know that." But he was just like, "I want to help you, whatever you want, but I don't need to know about his issues or your issues." And wait, do you guys remember? Like when they were on the last season, she made him report where he was and he had to have his location on. So when she was out with Dane, the first thing I thought was, does Gino know where you are? Right? Because I was like, he would go like to a restaurant to pick up takeout and she would have to be on FaceTime because the cashier was a female.
Yeah.
So she had to make sure that the interaction between he and the female cashier at the restaurant was not unapproved, I guess, by her. So I was like, how is it that she's had a whole like lunch or whatever with this person and no one is asking why she can't figure out where he is? Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't know. Like you said, it seems very two-faced. It seems very one-sided. And the fact that she didn't tell Gino where she found the apartment because she was like, well, Gino's going to pay for the apartment. He just doesn't know where I found it. He doesn't know that it's my ex, the last person that she was intimate with or whatever. He doesn't know that. I'm like, and then she's not going to tell him because he was like, is it going to be weird if I see him or we are interacting? And she's like, if you interact, like, if you, like, it was like an if. It's like, well, you won't necessarily have to act weird because he won't know. And I'm like, that doesn't seem fair because she knows everything about Gino, no matter where he was, what he was doing, who he was talking to. And again, nobody is saying that Gino is fine for sending those naked pictures to her ex or his ex or whatever. That wasn't okay, but it still needs to be an equal relationship. Everybody should be on the same page and everybody should be able to have the same expectations out of each other. And then, like you said, she has high expectations of him, and then she's just supposed to be able to do whatever she wants.
Yeah. And also, I kind of dig because he keeps saying, or has saying, that the visa is 30 days out, 30 days out. It sounds like that's not the first time that he said it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess since this is the last time you're going to say it, I'm going to make you pay for one more month of the luxury apartment, which you're going to pay for every time you tell me it's 30 days out. But for him to pay $3,000 for her apartment, that's insane.
Well, I have a question then. Or, okay. How can I say this? My brain just went blank, y'all. This episode has just really got me. Okay. Has he even really applied for it? Like, honestly, because if you listen to what he said, he still has to tell her where he's at, what he's doing. He got a full-time job. She's upset. She's mad at him all the time because they can't talk like they used to. And then he said that whenever he goes back over there on this trip, it's going to let him know if they really have a future together or not. So did he really apply for it? And if he did he maybe pause it a little bit? I mean, just to see where their relationship is going?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's
I think he did either.
Many red flags with that.
Yeah.
That's a good question because she did say that he didn't use a lawyer, which I think is the first time. Not very many people will do this process without an immigration lawyer approving the application because one mistake on your application can get you denied and then you can't reapply for a certain amount of time. Yeah. So it's very interesting that you said that because she said that he didn't use a lawyer. He insisted that he do everything himself. She's never even seen any paperwork being completed. He did everything himself. So that's interesting you said that. What if the paperwork has never been filed?
Yeah.
What if he's just telling her that there's, you know, a date that's never going to happen. And when you said that, I was like, I kind of see where Jasmine was coming from, because she's like, you tell me the same thing over and over, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of waiting. I want to start our life together, and if you're not going to be honest about when that is going to be, is it okay, you know, for her to just move on? I kind of think it is. If you're not being honest with somebody and you're wasting your time, and you're wasting their time, it's okay for them to get impatient and say that they might want to move on without you, because honesty is the foundation of the relationship, and there's no honesty there. If he really didn't file that paperwork, he should just tell her that.
Also, I don't remember how old her kid or kids were, but is he planning on bringing them all over?
Wait, Jasmine has a kid?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the main thing she's talking about, wanting to be a virgin again.
Yeah.
That's what she wanted her doctor to do, make her a virgin.
That's why.
Oh my gosh, I kind of forgot about her daughter, because they don't really show her much. I know she has a little sister.
No, she made the comment at the doctor today. I want to be virgin because my poo nanny will never, or my poo-poo nanny, whatever she called it, will never. What was it? Poo-poo nana? I don't remember. But
She said
it will never.
not the same after you have kids.
She did say that. Oh my gosh,
And
I completely missed that somehow.
When her and Gino is being intimate, she just
Oh yeah, she gave us a very visual. That was very visual. I think she called it dead. She said it was just flopping around and dead.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that Gino said that they fight so much, so that turns him off. Is it me? Or I thought when people fight, that kind of gets you guys more. Yeah, okay. So I thought that was really interesting, because isn't that people say you fight so you can make up?
Yeah.
So I was like, why is it that? Right. So when Gino said that they fight too much, that's why that he can't be intimate with her. I was like, imagine having a woman that looks like Jasmine and you can't be intimate with her because you're fighting. I was like, isn't that kind of the heat in relationships, is the arguments? When you're always happy, I heard when you're always happy, you always get along, that's when the drive goes down. That's what I heard. I mean, I don't know. I'm no relationship expert. This is just what I thought.
Neither am I, but even the doctor was like, well, if it doesn't work out, here's my phone number. You know?
Right. Like, that was my tweet. I was like, imagine having a fiance that looks like Jasmine and you're not intimate with her. And she's complaining because she wants you to be intimate with her more. I was like, imagine having those problems. Like, men, that could be your problems, right? Because usually it's always the other way around. First of all, you can't even get a woman that looks like Jasmine. First of all, that's off the table.
Well,
second, right? Then you get her, and then you can't even satisfy her because you don't even want to touch her. What is this?
Yeah. Also, she mentioned that the ex, he's rich, he's good looking, he's blah, 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 but he was boring. He didn't bring the fire. I'm sorry. I haven't seen any fire out of Gino at all. Not even a little bit of it.
He doesn't even, what'd she say? He doesn't even inside her.
Come on, DeeDee, tell me.
Right.
You got this.
I can't with this.
Come on, give it to me.
She said he doesn't finish.
She's like, you can't even come inside of.
Yes, there you go.
I tried to put a finger. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm fast forward.
Yeah, I can't, y'all. I can't.
There's no part of Jasmine and Gino's sex life that we aren't fully educated on, and I don't know if that's a bad thing or just a disturbing thing, or maybe both. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I feel like we shouldn't know this, but again, but we knew this from when she was on the show before. She's very open. We're gonna know everything that is going through Jasmine's mind. It's just going to be verbalized, whatever she's thinking. But I'm just waiting to see how this goes, because from the previews, it kind of looks like they aren't together, right? Like, it definitely looked like Gino said he was sick of her. He said F you, and Jasmine said to get out of her house, and it definitely looked like things were not going well, which is interesting.
Because
So
apparently Jasmine is cheating on him, I'm sorry, with her ex.
Obviously, right? Like, when I saw him pop up into the picture, that is exactly, I was like, so you wanted to live in the building with him? And did you notice when she described him, she used handsome like 3 times?
Yeah.
I was like, that's questionable for me, because even if he is, he's your ex. So he's your ex for either one or two reasons. You wanted to not be with him, or he wanted to not be with you. And I was like, it's sounding like he wanted to not be with you because you're still interested. Because usually when you decide to break up with someone, you don't always describe them as handsome, rich, educated, successful. You usually say,
just a little.
Right, exactly. So there's a lot going on there.
If you're not interested in your ex, you're not going to say he's just boring when you're literally dating a wet rag. Like,
that's true though, because that was the first thing I said, because she said that I didn't want to be with him because he's boring and he doesn't have the fire, and I was like, and Gino does?
Yeah.
Like, I have no problem with Gino, but Gino is not like the funnest person in the world, okay? Like, I remember him not even taking off his hat.
Yeah.
Like, taking off his hat was a lot for him. Like, can you imagine him going to a bar and getting drunk and having fun? Like, that's just not Gino. So I'm questioning how long, if she was cheating on him, how long do you think she had been cheating on him with this guy? And then maybe there are other guys too, because she's been in Panama this entire time. So if that's really what was going on, and another thing, did you notice that her ex and Gino look nothing alike? I always question when I meet someone's ex and they look nothing like me. And I'm like, so your ex and I have nothing in common. So either you have a type or you're dating me for a specific reason.
Yep.
Right? Like, that's the first thing I think. So I look at her ex, I look at Gino, they look nothing alike. And I'm like, so where's the disconnect here? Either you decided you're going to start dating a completely different type of man, or the ex decided he wasn't going to deal with you anymore. And then you found the next person that you could sucker into doing what you wanted. Right? That was kind of where my mind went. Is that what you guys were thinking too? Because you don't look anything like Gino.
No, not at all. And if the ex is so rich, he's definitely not on the show for the money. No. So he was just like, yeah, I'll make an appearance with my super cute accent, with my super cute face, with my super cute everything. And she's going to tell everybody how super cute it is, but I'm boring.
Completely boring. Right.
Watching Tino just try to get her on the screen. He's like, Jasmine. It's like, there's the fire you're looking for. Get it, girl. I just can't.
Too hot to handle.
Right.
Happen.
Anyone who can handle Jasmine, I respect them. She's a lot of woman to handle, and she has high expectations, and she wants what she wants, and she gets what she wants. And if you can handle that, I respect you, because there are men who Jasmine could bring to tears, right? Like, she is such a strong, feisty woman, right? Like, she could bring a man to tears. Just dealing with her and trying to make her happy, that's a lot. So if you can keep her happy, I respect you, because, like, honestly, I don't know if I can handle all of that woman. I don't know if I can handle that. Jasmine is a lot of woman to handle. I don't even know if I'm equipped to handle all that. There's a lot there.
That's a lot.
All right, so let's talk about David and Sheila. So our very first ever fully deaf cast member on the show. So we're already used to reading the caption on the screen. So I was like, oh, we're just going to read everything. And he told us his story, and I really am rooting for him. I'm like really excited for him to meet with Sheila for the first time. They've been talking on the internet for 2 years. Okay, so for the first year, no money exchanged. Then the next year, her house burned to the ground. So he did send her $3,000. So I want to get your take on that, because, you know, we've heard much higher numbers in much shorter amounts of time throughout the show and on the spinoffs and seasons. So how do you guys feel? Like, I do feel like if she wanted to get more money out of David, she could have, because I feel like David is a teddy bear. Like, right, he's sweet. He wants to do what he can to help her. He's in love with her. So I feel like if she wanted more money, she could have gotten it. So I'm on the fence to where it could be a real connection. You know, so I'm not going to say that the $3,000 is a deal breaker. Usually when I hear I've sent them money, my eyebrow goes up and I'm like, see, now I'm not liking what I hear. But where do you guys stand?
First of all, I love him. I love him. I wish him nothing but happiness. $3,000 over the course of a year, that's nothing. That is nothing. That's literally nothing. But her house being burned, her house being hit by a typhoon, then losing her job through COVID and all of that, that's so freaking sad. And if $3,000 helped her, more power to you. It would have been hard not to send more than that, honestly.
Right.
I think I would have a fundraiser.
Yeah,
Happy birthday,
I'm in
Kendra
agreement with
Sunderland. Happy birthday, Kendra Sunderland.
Happy birthday, Kendra.
happy birthday, Kendra. I'm in agreement with you guys. You know, he is so far he's my favorite one. And I know this is just the first episode.
Yeah.
And I am really rooting for them because she didn't ask for any money at all.
Yeah.
I'm hoping, got my fingers crossed, that this is the real deal, because usually they start asking for money within a couple of phone calls, you know. And then I think I would have did a fundraiser, or I would have sent more money, because she has a little boy.
Yeah.
I think he's 12. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then it's showing on the, I think next week he actually flies out there and sees how bad it really is. So he's seeing that she hasn't lied to him about it. So yeah, I hope that, so far he's my favorite one so far this season.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him. And like you said, when he flew over and he saw how bad the situation was, I think it became realistic to him and everyone at home that she could have asked him for way more money. She could have took him out and hung him out to dry, because that house is unlivable. And I feel like if she was trying to use him, she would have used him and gotten a new place to stay. That's not what she's doing, because she didn't even have a roof. When he walked in, he was like, this is way worse than I thought that she described to me. And she's only asked for $3,000 over the course of a year. So I really have high hopes for him. I want him to find someone, and I feel like he deserves that. When he said that he got lonely, even though that, you know, he's living his best life, he goes to the bar, he does the things that he loves, but it still gets lonely. It hurt me in here, because I was like, such a good guy. He goes to work, he works 2 jobs, he does everything he's supposed to do. Why can't he have love? Why not? Right? Like, why can't he have that one thing and start his family, have his kids? I'm rooting for him, and I'm so glad to see all of these different representations of love. Like, we're getting so many different representations, and now we're watching someone who is fully deaf, who is only communicating through sign language, who's falling in love with a woman who is partially deaf, using headphones or using hearing aids, and they're connecting. And even though she can't speak sign language, they're still communicating and in love. I just love seeing this, because back 10 years ago, I would say you couldn't date. Like, if you don't know sign language and the person is deaf, it would never work. So now with the technology working in our favor, we're now seeing so many different ways for people to connect.
Yep. When I was a bartender, I had 4 deaf customers. They were 2 couples, and I loved them. They had more of a personality than everybody that walked through the door, and they were so fun to interact with. And I'm still angry with myself for not learning American Sign Language. I wish I had. I mean, I know the basics, but certainly not everything I should know. So fun. So I can see how that bartender connected with him, because it was the same. I mean, I felt it in my soul. I hope that the money he sent to her went to something really good, and that he is able to, I don't know what he, you know, I realize he has 2 jobs, but I don't know what finances are like. I hope that he's able to do some kind of a fundraiser or something to get her some more money, because she needs it. She truly,
or we can start a GoFundMe. Like, if they don't know about it, like, we'll find them on Instagram. We can help. Like, if we can help them get into the right place to start a GoFundMe, because she definitely needs somewhere for her and her son to go with a roof. Like, that's ridiculous. We definitely want to make sure, now that we're aware of it, all the fans are aware of it, we'll all rally together and we'll try to make sure that can be done. Obviously, David is probably not able to do all of it, so we can help, right? Like, we can help. If there's something going on, the 90-day people, we're all a family, and I love that, because we're a family. We all take care of each other. We welcome all the new people into the family, and we treat everybody with respect. So hopefully we'll be able to spread the word. If there isn't already something going on, they're fast. You know, the fans might have already beat us to it. There might already be a GoFundMe page up. So who knows?
Probably. There's a little piece of me that wants to make sure that they work out, though, because if she hurts him, I'm going to be really sad.
Yeah. Yes, me too. That's really going to break my heart. Yeah.
I tweeted that I was like, if Sheila is taking advantage of David, we're gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have a problem. And I don't know if I can go to Vietnam. I only have a passport. I don't have a visa, but we're gonna have a problem. Okay? Like, we're gonna have a problem. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Yeah.
Don't take advantage of him. He is like a teddy bear. He would do anything for anyone. Just don't use him. Don't take advantage of him. Love him or leave him. Okay? Like, don't do anything else.
Exactly.
So
I'm rooting for him.
let's talk about Tyree. So Tyree and Carmela. So this story, I mean, we found out that he was taking care of his mom. They're living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and she had a stroke. And he's taking care of her, and he had to quit his job to do it full time. So he was pulling at my heartstrings already.
Yeah.
Because I'm a mama's boy, okay? So I'm a mama's boy. I would do the same. So he's pulling at my heartstrings, and every time he would talk about Carmela, there was just another red flag, and they just kind of started smacking me across the face. Red flag, red flag, red flag. And I was like, wait, you only talked on Snapchat and never on the phone, never on FaceTime. And I was like, see, now you lost me because I have to see who I'm talking to, or I won't even talk to you. Like, I have to know that you're real. I can't do fake or steal photos. I can't do Instagram stories. I can't do whatever, Snapchat photos. You gotta have a video call.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is giving me catfish vibes. Like, the whole time I was like, this is giving me catfish vibes. I watched enough catfish on MTV to know when you get some catfish vibes. And I was like, this is scaring me because he's all in. He didn't tell us how much money he sent her. Can I say her? Because we found out that at the end of the episode it's him. So we don't know how much money he sent him or whatever. And that's kind of scary too, because it's been like a long time. It's been years. So how much, let's take a poll. Let's do a guess and like put it out there. How much do you think it is?
I'm going to say he said, how long? 4 years?
Yes.
I'm going to say 10 grand at least.
Ooh,
That's
10,
what I was going to say, around 10,000.
Oh gosh. I mean, he did say he had a really good job. He was a claims person for an insurance company. So he had a good job. So this is very possible, right?
Yeah.
It's just him. He's only taking care of himself, no kids. You know, this was very possible over that amount of time. I'm going to go like 5 or 6 grand. Like, when he didn't bring it up, that caught me. I was like, well, he didn't say. That's even more scary. 90 Sips of Tea Reality says $20,000. They're going higher.
That's
20,000.
Because we know that this isn't just a love over there. This is a freaking scammer, period. This guy is a scammer. So he's taking him for everything he can. So every cent he can suck out of this poor guy, he did. So probably it might be upwards of 20 grand.
Oh my gosh. This is so bad.
Possible. This is 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
I knew it when he said we've never video chatted, we've never talked on the phone. So I was like, you haven't heard her voice. Because I was like, even if you start on the phone first and then work up to video chat, you got to do both. But you got to do one then the other. You can't do none. When he said that, I was like, oh no, he lost me. I was like, this is not good. This is the beginning of every catfish episode, right? Like, every time they say we've never video chatted, I was like, oh, we're about to see what's really happening here. It's not even the same gender that you thought it was. Like, this is bad. And for that many years, I was like, for you to keep talking, and he was like, we talk every day. And I was like, for them to be that attentive to you, there's money. Yeah. There's money being passed, because nobody is gonna just talk to you every single day for like hours a day for no reason. Yeah. Right? There's no chance. So the idea that there's all of this time passing, all of these text messages, all of these messages, but no photos, no videos. I was like, how much money are we talking? Because I was like, this is not good. And I know he could use that money right now because he's unemployed, taking care of his mom. And I'm like, all that money that he could have used for him and his mom, it's just so crazy.
He broke my heart. He absolutely broke my heart. I took care of my mom her last year, and just watching him take care of his mama is like, and then she said, you know, she has other children and they're very close. And to find out that somebody's scamming him just breaks my heart. He seems like such a sweet soul, just such a sweet soul, but good on production for going to them and saying, or going to him and saying, you know, we busted our ass basically to make contact. Found out it's not. If you want us to delete this footage and never show it, we will. So
Yeah.
but
I
also
respected that because, you know, production could have taken that information and kept it to themselves and then just blew it. Like they would have recorded the moment when he found out on his own and then used it. So production was being very respectful because normally they'll take information like that and pretend like they don't have it and then set you up.
yeah.
And then be like, okay, look, this is the person. And then the person will walk in and they'll make sure they're filming. So I do, like you said, I respect them a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's great. But I also have, obviously we haven't seen it yet, but I have mad respect for him for pushing through, taking the trip. We know he doesn't have the money for it. He already said he's got to find it on a very tight budget, find this flight. He still goes there to confront this person. I hope he just gets up and kicks his ass.
The fact that the person showed up, right? Like the whole situation. Have we ever really had a catfish situation on 90 Day? I was going back and thinking,
that I recall, we haven't.
Yeah.
I
always,
can't remember one.
Right, because even Maria from David, she was real. She wouldn't come on the show, but she was actually Maria. She was just taking the money or whatever. But she wasn't a guy or anything. It was actually her. And I believe there was another guy.
But we know that it was her.
Caesar.
We don't.
Yeah.
It was actually her because all we heard was her voice. We don't know if those were her real photos.
That's true.
We don't know any of that. But I also thought that David and what's her face, Maria in Ukraine, I thought she wasn't real when he was going to her flat tire, all that. I thought for sure that was a catfish.
Me too.
So actually it's going to be interesting.
Right. This is the first time that it's not who they said they were, and we have physical proof. Like they showed up to be filmed.
Susie's right. Susie said Yolanda, and I forgot about that.
The Williams.
Oh yeah,
Susie,
Yolanda.
right,
Yes.
The
He was
Williams.
a man from Nigeria. I forgot all about Yolanda.
Susie,
yes.
Nailed it. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
we forgot all about Yolanda and the Williams. She should have known that no one's first name is the and last name is Williams. She should have known it. We figured it out, but she didn't. You're right. So this is going to be the second time, not the first time.
Yep.
But I think is a reason why they started digging into it is because he said they were talking for 4 years and they've never even face messaged, and they're on Snapchat. Snapchat is, everybody does Snapchat. You know what I'm saying? I think that right there even gave them a red flag because he said, well, not everybody likes to FaceTime. Everybody FaceTimes. Yeah. If you're a real person, everybody does it. I think maybe that is what gave the producers red flags as well. And they looked into it.
Yeah, because when they start filming, they like to open the communication with the other person because they're eventually going to go over there and film them. Right before you land, they go over and film them preparing for you to get there. So they were going to have to reach out to this person and get an address, get a location, get where they're going to go, what airport they're going to need to fly into to film this. So I'm assuming when they reached out to the number that he gave, which is weird because he had a number, but he said that they only talked on Snapchat. So was the phone number just there and he didn't call it? Like, I already have a lot of questions. So I'm glad that he decided to continue on because I want to hear more about this because I always feel like on Catfish, they make some of the stuff fake. Like some of the facts that they find and stuff is fake. Hey, pink snow kitten. And a lot of times it's not real and they want to do it for dramatic reaction. But I want to see exactly how this transpired and like how this person played him for this long. But that's what I really want to know.
I'm actually concerned about it because he said he's insecure because of his weight and he's afraid of rejection and all of that stuff. So his family doesn't even know. They didn't know about this person. He's never told them. So now not only does he have to tell them, look, I've been in love with this woman for 4 years and I was getting ready to go to Barbados and see her. And now I just found out she's not even a her, she's a him. And it's a total catfish. he's got to come clean to his family because someone's going to have to take care of his mom while he goes. I mean, no, that's so sad. So sad.
And two, it showed us also that he throws his phone because someone tells him that the one that he thinks that he's been talking to is a call girl.
Yep. But I'm assuming that was like a fake, that was like the photo or whatever they were using.
Yes.
Or maybe the guy.
I'm trying to see how does this all come into play.
Like, maybe the guy knows the escort, so she was allowing, because he said that there was a video chat once, right? And she didn't talk.
Asked her once, and she said no. Or he asked her once, she changed the subject, so he just took that as a no, is what he said. So they've never actually video chatted.
Oh, wow.
Nope.
So, yeah, maybe it's a random picture that the person is using, and the picture belongs to an escort. Or it could be the guy knows the girl personally, and because sometimes these catfish situations, the people are working together.
Yeah.
Like they'll have a female that will take pictures and record stuff for them to send to the guys to get the money, and then they share the money. Yep. Like I can't wait to know. Like I'm super excited because we finally get a behind the scenes of what's really going on. Yeah. How this went on for 4 years is a long time to fool somebody, right? Like I want to know all of the details of this situation and how they managed, and I want to know how much money did they get out of this guy, because we know Tyree's I think a teddy bear with a mustache is what they call him. So it's like he is a super sweet guy. He's gonna help everybody who needs help. So I know that they have gotten him for a lot.
If I talk to somebody for 4 hours, I know where you grew up, how many kids you have, what your favorite food is, if you have any allergies, are you a day sleeper, a night sleeper, do you like sunrises? I'm going to know all of that. So over 4 years, how you didn't, I need to see your face within the first 24 hours. Yeah. Or this is done. Like 4 years is just mind-boggling.
I know.
Exactly.
4 years.
Exactly.
I don't even like to respond to comments on my videos for people that don't have a profile picture. Because I was like, that's because you're not even real. It's like, especially if you're dogging me, I'm like, you're not even real. There's no picture. I'm not even responding to that, you know?
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't even accept friend requests. Like if you don't have a picture, if you cannot have a picture on a follow or a friend request, no, I'm not accepting it.
Yep.
Especially scammers.
So there's like a bunch more people we haven't met yet. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's like probably 8 different people this season. That's a lot, right? Like I was doing the math. I was like, that's usually more than what we usually get, right?
There was 3 couples we hadn't seen yet that are still coming. And
that equals 5. Yeah, 8.
Yeah.
There's like 8 people. That's a lot. This is going to be crazy. So I wonder if some people aren't going to make it to the end. Like maybe there's not going to be a lot more Tyree footage or whatever, because I was like, why would we have 7 to 8 different people? Because they can't fit everybody in one episode, because there's like, I think you said 3 more people we haven't even met yet. So this is crazy. So I'm really excited, and I don't know what to expect. Like the first episode, they really sent me for a loop. When right at the end, when they told him what was going on and it was a catfish and it was a guy, I was like, this is crazy. Like I didn't even know what to do. I was like sitting on the couch, like it can't be over now. Like now I'm really hooked. Like it can't be over now. I need to know what is going on now. Next week they're going to skip Tyree. They're not going to give us any more, because that's how 90 Day in TLC does. We're going to this week's wait again.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of Gino and Jasmine, in my opinion. I think we'll see them on a couple of episodes, but I don't think they're going to take up too much time. Their story is out. We already know that the visa is probably pending. It's just going to be long enough for Gino to come, find out there's an ex, there'll be a big fight, and then they're done. We won't see them till the tell-all.
So I'm going to say this. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone, but I know that Jasmine is on United States soil. I'll just leave it at that. I know that. So we're going to have to see how that all plays out. But I know that she's been here since March.
I was going to say, I noticed that on her Instagram. She posted something and then it was gone within like 20 minutes. It was kind of a, oops. I caught that too, but I wasn't sure what I was able to say.
Yeah, I
But
don't want to say too much. I don't want to ruin anything for anyone because we're just starting, and I know you guys want to watch it as it happens. So
Yeah.
if you didn't notice it on there, you didn't notice it. I don't want to ruin it for anyone. So as we watch and it progresses, you will see what happens and where people end up. And I'm just ready for it. Like this season really hit me with all the drama. I'm ready for it. And I like the other way, but I feel like Before the 90 Days is kind of in the running right now.
Yep.
Right? Do y'all feel the same way?
But
Yeah.
thought, in my opinion, or my experiences from the other shows, that these couples, I don't know, it seems weird. What did we not see that Nicole and Mahmoud were supposed to be on this?
Not Before the 90 Days.
We're talking about last week. Why would they be on Before the 90 Days if they were already married?
Right. I think they're supposed to be on Happily Ever After.
That makes way more sense.
Yeah, as far as I heard, Happily Ever After. Yeah, not Before the 90 Days. If we did say that, I think we were probably supposed to say Happily Ever After. Okay. And that is already filming, which is weird, right? I heard that.
We asked Rachel about it because Rachel was on Before the 90 Days.
Oh, that's exactly what happened. Yeah, Happily Ever After, and that is already filming.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said that they assumed that Gino and Jasmine were going to film Happily Ever After when she got here, but apparently the filming started while she was still in Panama. And then we'll leave it at that in case you haven't been following her on Instagram, or we'll leave it at that and we'll talk about that later on. I'm sure as the season progresses, we'll be able to talk about more about where people are and what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting season. I love it so far. I absolutely love it so far. I've got my favorites, and then I have my least favorites, and then those that I despise already.
Yeah, so I feel the same way. Like, I love David. I want Tyree to get his answers. Yeah. You know, like I want him to know what happened and what's going on. And if there was money involved, give it back.
Yeah.
Right? Like, get that money back. That was so wrong. I hate it when people take advantage of people. And I have like you said, I have my favorites. I'm rooting. And then I saw the preview when they said what's more to come. And I'm even more excited about what we didn't see. Like, there's just so much. So 90 Day is really killing it right now, guys. The franchise is doing great. Match Me Abroad, if you guys aren't watching it, that's good too. Yeah. I was moving when it started, so I didn't get to start doing the show. But I promise when I get all these boxes unpacked and stuff, we're going to talk about that too.
I watch every season. Oh, Lord have mercy. Show.
Yeah. I'm up. So when you're ready.
Yes, as soon, I promise. I only have like a few more boxes left. The storage pod gets picked up in a couple of days. Everything is in the house now. So it's very soon. So I promise we're going to be talking about that. So that's it for this one. We're going to come back tomorrow and we're going to talk about Love in Paradise because there's some drama going on like in real time with Love in Paradise. In case you guys haven't noticed, there's some drama with Scott and his living situation and some comments that are being made about him. So we're going to address that on there and kind of, you know, inform people who aren't aware of what was going on. Because he did a TikTok live with another blogger and they were talking about that. So we're going to dig into that. And we're going to also finally see what's going on with Valentine in April. Because that's going to be a new topic coming up tomorrow as well. So thank you guys for joining us. This has been the Before the 90 Days season premiere podcast talk with my co-hosts Kara and DeeDee. We'll be back tomorrow because we are definitely talking about Love in Paradise. Thank you for watching with us and tweeting with me too. I think DeeDee, you were live tweeting with me, right?
Yep.
Kara, we got to get you on Twitter. Are you on Twitter? We got to get you
on there. I'm just not on there.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you know me, I probably tweeted out 400 or 500 tweets last night or tonight. I was just every time I saw it, I was like my fingers were dancing. Like it was just crazy.
Never on Twitter.
Never.
I go on there.
See, we're gonna get you on.
Yeah, you gotta go on Twitter because I'm addicted to it now. So I don't even get on Facebook anymore. It's Instagram and Twitter for me. So I don't even. Very rarely do I ever get on Facebook anymore. It used to be Facebook and Instagram, but no.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna get you on.
And you can
get you on. We're gonna
say what you actually want to say on Twitter, and you ain't gotta worry about getting in trouble.
Yep,
that's true. True.
My real thoughts are on Twitter. If you want to know what my real thoughts are, they're on Twitter. Go check. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We're going to talk to you guys tomorrow. I'm George Mossey, the George Mossey Show. Make sure you're following me at George Mossey on all social media platforms, on everywhere you get your podcast. And follow my co-hosts, Kara and DeeDee, too. They're tagged in this video. And we'll talk to you guys really soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.